Hello everyone, I am Professor Control Space and I am an expert in terrorism. I have my PhD in geopolitics from Harvard. I served as a terrorism CIA agent in the Middle East for 15 years, working on things like hostage negotiation, interrogation, and infiltrating certain groups. I've interacted with multiple terrorist groups in the Middle East and Africa, including the Taliban, Hamas, ISIS, and Al Qaeda. Today we will be looking at depictions of terror in Gacha games, mostly through the eyes of Lene, a character from Wuthering Waves. Let's get started. Hello, Mr. Man in Red. Uh-oh. Yeah, this is common. I've seen stuff like this before. That's what I would have done, yeah. So in this scene, we see Lene executing a poor innocent man. Events like this were commonplace back when I was active in the Middle East. I remember one time back in 2002, and this was right after the 9/11 attacks. I was operating out of Kabul, Afghanistan, and I was being driven back to base after a meeting at a local cafe. When my supervisor tapped me on the shoulder, I turned to him, asked him, "What's up?" And then he handed me his phone, which had a video playing. The contents of this video was a CIA agent who was on his knees, praying before being executed. The connections these two, the CIA agent and the man in red, had in common was being isolated, separated from command center or any sort of backup. The CIA agent was a rookie who made the rookie mistake of meeting his buddies in a quiet part of town. Never, ever, ever do a deal, especially a risky one where you don't have access to backup. Abort the mission, because not only are you in danger, but you also compromise the integrity of the mission. And if you are already going to do that, you might as well be alive when you do so. Where are you going, buddy? Okay, so she's on her bike. Uh-oh. Car accident, funny moment. Oh yeah. That's not what I would have done, but things happen, you know. Oh, she holstered her gun? I wouldn't have done that. That's not what I would have done.
So sorry.
This reminds me of that one time back in 2009 in Raqqa, Syria. I was on my way to meet up with a colleague because he wanted advice on dealing with his girlfriend who recently cheated on him. When I noticed a gray motorcycle that had been behind us for quite a while now. Thinking I was being tailed, I followed standard procedure and made some lane changes, turned right 4 times, and sure enough, they were still on me. In fact, even after seeing my erratic driving, not only did they not abort the surveillance, but they sped up to the side of my car and pointed a gun to my window. I quickly ducked and veered my car to the left to hit them. They managed to get 2 shots off, none of them luckily hitting me. They were sent flying to the ground and I sped off to a public mall that was nearby. After confirming there was nobody on me, I called my supervisor for a mission report and then laid low in a hotel for a week. Sometimes shit hits the fan fast. What sets a professional apart from the rest, is to stay cool in the hardest of situations. The ability to operate proficiently, even in the shittiest, worst conditions, is what makes a professional a professional.
Lahai sky might be
Artificial sky.
but item under it than
More
I've
for-
ever
oh, okay, yeah.
known anywhere else.
Yeah, I've seen this one before, yeah.
Yeah.
One time I had a colleague, a rat. We'll name him Joe, and Joe was a high-ranking member at the time of the Taliban. Joe also had a family. We were eating breakfast at a cafe in Az-Sukuna, Syria. We were talking mundane stuff, boring stuff, like the price increase at the time of oil, when all of a sudden the conversation shifted towards the UK. See, his family recently started watching the show The Crown. He starts talking to me about how his children wanted to move to London, to live in London, and how he also thought that he could provide a better life for his family if he got out of the Taliban and moved far away to London. By this point, I had a good feeling in my gut that I could recruit him, so I dropped my cover and I told him, "Hey, I'm actually an officer with the CIA. I can get you and your family to London. Lene reminds me of Joe, and even if the sky may be artificial, your future does not have to be artificial. Hello, Rover. Lene. Looks like, oh, she's on her bike. Watching over him.
Well,
Angie.
time to take care of my own business.
Alright, here we go. She's going back to her secretive activities, it looks like. Oh my god, the disguise. Yeah, I've seen this one before. There was this one time back in 1973 when I was taking a shit in a KFC in Giza, Egypt, when just too much shit came out all at once and completely flooded the toilet. I couldn't flush it, so I just wiped my ass and I quietly left the restroom. I remember as I went back to my seat, I saw the janitor walking into the bathroom. I was eating my chicken tendies when I heard the janitor scream in terror, most presumably from seeing the mountain I left behind. We all have our secrets. Just like Rover does not know of Lene's activities, that janitor does not know of mine.
Someone's near the detector.
Is it Len? Yeah.
a student?
Yeah, that's Lene. Yeah, you have to be careful of cameras. You can't be caught by surveillance like this. This wouldn't be me. I would be more cautious and careful of the locations I'm traveling towards. Rookie mistake, seems like, on Lene's part. I remember one time back in 2003, I was driving through the northwest region of Arkansas in my 2002 orange Mazda RX-7 with 15% window tints late at night when I accidentally rear-ended a police cruiser on I-49 going up north. The airbags momentarily knocked the sense out of me, but I quickly locked in. The police officer got out of his cruiser and he looked to be very angry. His hand was on his gun. I reached for my handgun, my fingers brushing over the whiskey bottle that fell out of my hands during the crash. It was a bit awkward to maneuver my arm around the broken car to deploy airbags, but I managed to line up my gun with the officer's silhouette and I fired 7 shots off on him. Once I saw his body drop to the ground, I stumbled out of my car, entered his police cruiser, and I drove off. Moral of the story is, do not come to school tomorrow when Lene says she has had enough. Alright everyone, we have watched multiple clips depicting acts of terror in gacha games. I think that Wuthering Waves has done a fantastic job with their depictions. A+, a thumbs up even, from me. I think that if I can leave you all with one piece of advice, one thing you should take away from this video, it's that Super Mario Odyssey should have won Game of the Year back in 2017. Thank you all for watching. Have a blessed and non-fatal day. Peace.